Chuck here. Hillbilly Half Acre Homestead. Yep, still got the stupid cord in the way. I was going to bring you a rabbit update, and I guess I still am. I was hoping to have a new litter to show you, but unfortunately last night was quite a bit cooler than the weather we've been used to, and Calypso evidently didn't cover her babies up as good as should have been. She had 3. One of them is dead. One of them is still showing a great deal of energy. The other one was almost to the point of barely moving. It may or may not make it. But I've got them underneath the heat light right now. They're in the house. And I'm going to try to warm those guys up and bring them out to her later. But they're going to be absent from this video. You know, just depending on whether or not they make it. Now the good news is tomorrow or tonight or tomorrow night, Squirrely Girl is due to kindle a litter, and I hope she uses the nest box. She's not really showing a lot in the way of nest building, but then again, sometimes they don't the first time. Now Calypso did excellent. She's just like her mama. She just failed to cover them up the way they needed to last night, and it got a little bit cooler last night than what we had been experiencing. So anyway, this is Hershey's litter. 3 chocolates, a black, and a Himalayan. They're just as fat as can be. And Hershey had 5, and she has raised all 5. These are, I want to say, 5 weeks old, just over a month old anyway. And they are just cute little rascals. They're going to be within the next, I don't know, week or 2. We're probably going to start weaning these little guys. We've got, if I remember correctly, we've got 3 does and 2 bucks in this litter. Do remember, it seems like the Himalayan was a doe and a couple of the chocolates. I think the black one in the litter. I think the black one in the litter is a buck. Don't quote me on that. I think this one's a doe. Yeah, that's a doe. And 2 of the little chocolates. Anyway, we got little Hershey's, so they're doing just fine. Folks, I may or may not have told you this in the past. Condition. It's not just for in the show, okay? We're not going to the show again till in the spring, okay? But condition is still important, okay? And if you paid attention in the last video where we did our update and we talked about Twix, I said that she is underweight, and I made a mistake and rebred her whenever, but I said Twix was underweight, and I made the mistake of rebreeding her before she was given a chance to come back up to weight and regain her condition, okay? And when I make a mistake, I mean, there's, you know, if you watch it, if you read any of the comments that, you know, on our videos and what have you, you know there's plenty of people that say that everything that we do is wrong, basically. And that's okay. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, but if it's worked for 20-something years, it's not wrong in my opinion. I just don't let that bother me. But when I make a mistake, I admit that I made a mistake. And I made a mistake and rebred Twix too soon, okay? And what that led to was, and to show you how important that is, okay, if you followed our videos, every single one of Twix's litters that she's had with us have been on video. The first one, she had 7. 2 of them were peanuts, so they were destined to die. She raised the other 5. Her second litter this year, she gave birth to 8 and raised every single one of them. There were no peanuts that time. This time, when I didn't allow her to get back up to weight and back up to condition, she gave birth to how many?
I'm going to say 7.
7 or 8. She's got 3 now. Condition. If she's not in condition, when rabbits can't get the proper amount or enough nutrition for what they're nursing out of the food they're taking in, they naturally sacrifice body mass to produce milk to make sure that their babies survive. When you breed them and they're underweight, they don't have extra body mass to sacrifice. So what gets sacrificed? Milk production. Baby's food. And just recently we had to remove 3 young babies. There was food, but they weren't hardly old enough. They weren't eating it well yet. Unfortunately, that's what happens. Okay? Now she's got 3 kits left, and I am going to, I'd say about a week ago, we threw out 3 kits. She had 7, one of them was a peanut. Okay, so we're not counting that. Okay, it's genes caused that to happen. Okay, camera may not be sitting straight up and down, but you get the idea. There's another one back here. Come here. Anyway, these little rascals are, you know, if you sit in the water dish, you get your feet wet, right? It's awful cold. Okay, so we've got this little guy, or girl. This is a solid black. Unfortunately, the little black otter was a buck,
Little chocolate on 'em.
and he didn't make it. This is a solid black, but they are just as healthy and energetic. They're getting. I can still feel ribs there, but we're past. I think she'll be okay. We're past the danger point. I think she'll be okay, and raise all 3 of these that are ready. These guys, you want to compare size? You know, they're about half the size of Hershey's, and they're about a week younger, maybe 2 weeks younger. I can't remember for certain, but this is a little Himalayan, just cute as can be. And here's a little chocolate otter. Come here, buddy. This is a female. This is a little doe.
I thought you said that was a buck.
No, it was a black one. That was a buck. That one's a doe.
Okay.
I'm sure I've shown you before, but see the white belly? And a little bit of white on its nose and under its chin here. See it here under its chin? And in the ears and what have you. That's the otter pattern. Otherwise, they'll be just solid body color like him. See, he doesn't here. I got you. See, he doesn't have any white. Okay, that's Twix and her babies. And she is, let me see here. She does feel like she's improving. That's a good thing. Now we have got Serenity back here, and we've got Iris here, and I think Glow Stick I think just everybody but Calypso and Twix on this side right here, I think is expecting. Squirrely Girl should be kindling a litter probably tomorrow, or if she does like several of the other does have done in the last couple of rounds, they would birth on the morning of day 32. And the reason that happens is a lot of times when I come out to breed, I do it kind of late in the evening.
Except for one, Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe ended up, but anyway, we're not to Zoe yet. Anyway, Pearl just bred today. Hershey was rebred. Hershey rebred, I want to say a week or maybe a little more ago. It's not to the point where I can palpate her again. Salt should be bred. I don't have any paperwork out here, so I don't know who technically is far enough along or should be far enough along that I could palpate or try to confirm their pregnancy. Calypso's litter, I don't know if one of them's going to live or not. But that breaks my heart. There's a very good chance we're going to lose 2 of those. But one of them's already gone. There's a very good chance we're going to lose another one. But the one that is still very energetic and so on is the first lilac, Netherland dwarf that I've had. Other than, naturally, Pearl. Pearl's a lilac. But she's never been able to throw a lilac. So I can only assume that Pepper didn't carry a chocolate or he did carry a dilute gene, but he didn't carry a chocolate. Everybody that Pearl had given birth to carried the chocolate, but they didn't show it. Well, genetically speaking, chocolate and lilac are pretty much the same gene. It's just one's dilute and one's not. But Calypso, being Pearl's daughter, carried the chocolate or the lilac gene, whichever you choose to call it, and was then bred back to Pepper. Evidently, Pepper carried chocolate gene as well. Now, why Pearl? Maybe it's Pepper that carried the lilac gene. See, that doesn't even make any sense how that happened. But I know that's a lilac because the other one that died was blue, and you could tell a definite difference in their color. But who knows? It could be something else besides the lilac once it's big enough that we can tell. But anyway, I'll move around. We still have Sangria. We'll show you progress on how they've grown. They are what? A week younger, I think, than Hershey's. So they too are getting close to being weaning size. Sangria has not been rebred yet. We've tried a couple times with Saugai, but she wasn't having any of it. We have decided that we are going to try Saugai and Sangria, and when it comes time for Zoe to rebreed, I may try Saugai with her as well. Zoe only having the one kit, it's going to grow just super fast, and it has already, and I may try to breed her back earlier than normal, and wean that one kit, because it's going to grow so fast. It'll be eating fine, and it's going to grow so fast because it's the only kit in the litter that it's just going to be no problem weaning it, a couple of weeks earlier than what we normally do. But anyway, I'm going to cut the camera off, reposition it outside, and let's take a look at some more babies.
I have to rebreed Calypso.
Why?
Didn't make it.
Neither one of them? Okay, well, you saw it here first. You heard it here first, folks. Calypso's babies. Dana just checked on them and they are gone. So Calypso she'll get a few days to recover and then she'll go see the buck again. I was just talking away to you guys and Dana walked out and walked up to the camera, being, you know, the smart aleck that she is. She's, Chuck, I don't think this camera's recording. And, well, you know, if I forget to push the button, you ain't going to hear a word I say. So, we're going to start this over. What I was saying is, Sangria, I am so proud of her. She's feeding these 5 big guys and feeding them well because they're growing well. But she's not lost a lot of weight. She's still thick and full. Now, she's just a tad bony on the hip. But compared to what Twix and Pearl and some of my other bunnies do when they have big bunnies to feed like this, she is doing so very well. I'm very happy with her holding her condition up. We might go ahead and try rebreeding her whenever. Look at that beautiful flyback fur.
Honestly, I don't think she's feeding them. Anytime I put the food in, they go to town on it.
Well, yeah, but she's still feeding them. But she will, and she probably will. The babies are about a month old, give or take. Until I decide to wean a couple of these off, she's probably not going to be receptive to the buck and rebreed. Oh, I didn't mean for that to fall in the nest box. Well, the good news is it'll fall on through. Update on the ceramic tile. Subject change here. They do get nasty. We keep a little plastic scraper, but it's over there in that building. I bought 3 of them. There's 1 of them actually out here, and it's over there in that building, which means it never gets used over here. You know, I've got 3 others but 2 of them haven't been brought out yet. So this we scrape off what stick periodically. We will hose these down, clean them up, scrub them up, and what have you. We're not going to do that every day. We're not even going to do that every week, more than likely. If they do get excessively dirty, or somebody has loose stools or what have you, and they start mashing it down and what have you and really making a mess, then we'll go ahead and do it. Other than that, it's just going to be one of those deals where we play it by ear. I don't want them walking around in filth, but the reason we did these is because these are sealed with a glaze, and most of the mess rolls and gets knocked off, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that works, but they will have to be cleaned because they do pee on them. Now, this would be a lot dirtier. It was back in that corner, and that Sangria's preferred corner to use for a bathroom, okay? And so what happened was she was sitting on here and using it back there for a bathroom, and it got real nasty and what have you, and it's been scraped off a time or 2. Now, what I've discovered is if I pay attention to what's going on, and if this tile, if I put it, not realizing it, if I put it in a corner of their cage where they are not gonna, where they use the bathroom, all I got to do is pick that tile up and move it to an opposite corner, and usually so far they'll start staying cleaner. So this is a lot cleaner than it was back there in that corner. But anyway, on to the babies. They've only got so much space there. They think they can get away. I don't know what they weigh. I believe I've got, as luck, if you believe in luck. I don't really believe in luck. I'm just using it as a term. I'm just using the term luck. But it seems as though I have ended up with 2 does and 3 bucks. Anyway, there you go. How's that for size? It takes 2 hands to hold them now. There are 2 or 3 of them that are a little light in color, but Sangria was light in color when we got her too. They'll darken up as they get older. They are just beautiful little guys and gals. Let's see what we've got here. That looks like a buck. Naturally, let him sit up there for a minute. See what we got here. Not sure on that one. Possibly a doe. Okay, you're next. Come here. Yeah, I got you. Whoops. I'm going to trip on the tripod leg here in just a second. Yep, that's a buck. Woo, look at this big. Look at this one.
I think that one gets to the dinner table first.
There we go. Now that's a big doe. That's a big doe. Now this red one back here, or this red one, they're all red. This is the reddest one. See that color? If you were judging by color, this would definitely be the winner of the litter.
Bring that one over there and I'll see if I can tell.
I'm pretty sure this one's a buck, if I remember right. So two, so that one must be the doe. With this one right here, so we're only gonna have one doe. This one's not doing well, or at least this one will be. This one will. I hate to say it, but this one will more than likely be a cull. Anyway, let me round up some bucks here. I threw a couple of them up on top of the cage. Come here, rascal. Come here, you little rascal. Get back in there. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to grab your fur, but you kept running. Here, get in there. You're all right.
That's a doe.
Yeah, if that one makes it to size, we'll probably have to make food out of that one. It has a growth just underneath its skin right here. You gotta watch them. Every rabbit in the litter is not gonna be perfect, but this is definitely a cull. There's a growth right in here underneath the skin. Not sure what it is, but this was the runt of the litter anyway, and sometimes some of those, things like that affect the runt. I can't say it being the runt really had that much to do with it, though. It was just affected by something possibly genetic. Anything can pop up. You can have 100 litters and all of them be perfect but one. This could be the one that we have a defect in out of the next 100 litters. So we could have just got the bad one in the first litter. But that's where you cull, and you cull hard. If you're into showing, you keep the best and eat the rest. That's just all there is to it. And the does, unfortunately, the does in this litter are already, well, not just this litter, because evidently it's just going to be the one. The does are spoke for. Not really sure about the bucks. I don't think I've really had anybody request a buck yet. But if so, if not, there's other uses for a buck. We've got plenty around here. So anyway, we're going to cut it off. Or, well, I don't guess we have to cut off. We're going this next door here. Let's swing around here. And now Zoe is a very, very protective mama.
Very protective.
And she is going to be very upset with me when I come over here. But here's the way I look at that. You have to be able to keep a handle on what's going on in your rabbitry. Yes, mamas get upset. A lot of people would say, well, just leave them alone then. Well, no, because 9 times out of 10, when they have a litter and they're upset like that, if you just continue and go on about your business, then they get better over time and are okay with it. 2, you got to know. You got to reach your hand in that nest box. If a kit died in that nest box in August and you didn't check that nest box every day, do you want to go back in 3 or 4 days and reach your hand down in that nest box after that kit's rotted in in August? I don't care if it's October, November. If a kit dies, I don't want it laying in there to contaminate or possibly make the rest of them sick, okay? And that's just one reason for checking them. If something's going wrong, the doe for some reason is not feeding them right, sometimes there's a chance you've got another doe that you can foster those kits to save them. But if you don't know they need saving, you're not going to be able to save them. You've got to stay on top of what you're doing. It's just part of it. Just get back, just get back.
She will bite.
I will too. I will too.
God, it's got so big.
Yeah, this one's only a couple of weeks old, or just under a couple of weeks. I'm looking at the eye. I hope I've got you in here because my camera person is out of position.
Yeah, I can see it.
But I'd say within a day or two, this one is going to be. This kit was also sired by Romeo. So as you can see by the speed that this kit is growing, we are going to be able to wean it early. Zoe has 8 places at the dinner table. So she has a place at the table for 8 babies, and she's only got 1. So this rabbit, this little kit right here can actually get the calories and the food intake of 8 rabbits. So it can actually grow at a very, very tremendous rate. So far,
Lord.
I'll just throw this out there. This kid is probably at this age. Sangria's kits were probably about a third this size. But I showed you. In fact, I think the last video that I posted was this little guy or gal. It was about 12 hours old, and I want to say that was almost, it was less than 12 hours. It had been born that morning of the day that I posted it, because I just cut a very 2 or 3 minute video, real short, went in and rendered it real quick and posted it up so it would be live that day. It's just I think I told Dana before we came out here that it's been almost 2 weeks since I posted a video, but I could be off. I'll have to look up my dates. But if you watched that video, you saw how small this kit was on the day it was born. and you can see that it has grown dramatically. And I don't know, we'll try. I doubt it's big enough that I can determine gender yet. Yeah, no, that's not gonna. Yeah, see, you're gonna get me. Anyway, the baby made it back down into the rabbit hole. So Zoe has her baby back. Talking about aggressive rabbits, you know, we've done videos about aggressive rabbits before. Folks, I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's a difference in an aggressive rabbit and a rabbit being a good mama, okay? Zoe is not an aggressive rabbit, but she's got babies, she's feeling protective, and she don't want your hands in there. That's just all there is to it. Now see, now she's gonna go check on it and make sure that I didn't leave any funny smells on it or anything, and make sure that it's okay.
Make sure we didn't put no other kits in there.
Yeah, that's something that Dana just reminded me. Mustang Sally, for a second time, lost a litter. I'm not sure what's going on with her, but I do have a theory. And what we have done, this is Mustang Sally, and I know this is supposed to be a baby video, but I'm just gonna show you Mustang Sally. I saw something that in, you know, 20 plus years or whatever of having rabbits, I've never seen before in my life. Mustang Sally gave birth, starting off, to 2 babies. And she had them on day 34 of when she was bred. The next day, she had 2 more. The next day, 2 more. The next day, 2 more. She ended up altogether having 8, or well, no, I take that back. On one of those days, she had 4. And then she had 2 on the first day and 2 on the last day, I think it was. Or maybe she had the 4 all together on the last day.
It was 2 on the first day, 2 on the second day, and the 4 on the last.
But anyway, I've never in that long seen a rabbit do that. And I am entirely... she ignored them. She had the babies on the wire. She ignored the nest box, okay? And she just showed absolutely no interest whatsoever in those babies and taking care of them or anything. I remember something that PJ and I had talked about when we went and visited her, with her back, I don't know, what was it, August or something? And she said, she talked about how she had a rabbit that was really upset and aggressive all the time, and in doing some investigation work they discovered that there was a piece of tarp or something that they had used to tarp up the roof of their barn while they were working on it, waiting, you know, because the roof hadn't been completed yet, that would flap when the wind blows. And as soon as they moved that rabbit from that location, its attitude and demeanor and everything else completely changed. Well, I know in reason, Mustang Sally's been here over 2 months now, almost 3, maybe more than that. I lose track. Anyway,
almost 3.
The thing is, she's had plenty of time to settle in at Crow's Nest Rabbitry. You know, it's not, when she lost her first litter, I thought it maybe I just didn't give her enough time to settle in before she was bred and to have that litter and what have you. I'm not upset about, or I'm not happy about the way things are going with Sally, but you've watched enough videos by now probably, or if you have, you know that I don't give up on them easily. And so what I did, I moved this up here. I moved Sally up here. One, she's gonna, you see how she's awful skittish and what have you. I think that she might get a little more used to us by being up here where we're constantly walking through. She was around on the side of the building. Just I'm just gonna walk it here. Yeah, place is still a mess. Seems like the more we try to improve, the worse things get. See this roof that I put on this? Keeps the rabbits high and dry inside, but this stuff blows in the wind. Okay, see this? Here, now I've got it. See this stuff here? Now what this is this is a flap that I made to let down that would block wind blow, or rain and storms, what have you, blowing in when there's babies in the nest box. Let me get this tripod's all locked up here. Yeah, see the nest box there? And I made this flap. In fact, it goes up here. You can see it. It's actually laid up and covered in leaves, but it's a long flap, and I made it so that I could drop it down. So if the rain and wind and a storm or something were to blow in, it would block it and keep it off this nest box if there was babies in there. Put this plastic on the top, and I'm thinking, well, what if Sally just don't like that? What if it's upsetting her? Because see, there's a piece hanging down on the back there too. Let's see how well we can see that from here. It'll probably try to focus on the cage wire. See that hanging down back there behind that J feeder? Same thing there. When the wind blows and comes through between these buildings. That blows, and I think that it could be upsetting her. She also doesn't really show any interest in using the drop-down nest boxes. Now, I think that once whatever is upsetting her, once we correct that and what have you, I think she'll be okay with using the drop-down nest boxes. I've never had a rabbit before that wouldn't use them. Of course, that doesn't mean it's not possible. But these are the 3 rabbits that we had left. If you need one of these guys, come get them. They're buck out of Twix's second litter this year, or her last litter. This was the litter of 8. This is what's left of them. And if you need one, come get it. They're fully pedigreed and tattooed and the whole 9 yards. But we moved these guys back here, and we moved Sally up here. And I haven't decided yet. Okay, now there's Mustang Sally again. I haven't decided yet if I am going to... I have one conventional sheet metal nest box, and I haven't decided yet if I'm going to put it in there when it's time for her to kindle, or after moving her up here, I'm going to see if she won't settle down enough that we can put a drop down, because I really want to stay with the drop down nest boxes. I just, you know, they're just the ideal way to go, in my opinion, and I don't want to get away from that, and I want to keep it standardized, so I don't have to have 11 different kinds of nest boxes just to accommodate every rabbit. I want to try to get every rabbit to use the same thing. That way it's a little more standardized. And if I have to move a rabbit, then I know that it's already set up with a nest box of the right size, and so on and so forth. But I may also consider putting a regular conventional nest box, which Mustang Sally has used in the past, in there. So we'll just have to see. Mustang Sally has been rebred. Not sure if it was a successful breeding, but she is outrageously up in weight, and there was just really no reason to wait any longer. But we've got her moved up here. I know when we come near the cage, she seems a lot more calm, since she's been up here a couple days now, and she seems a lot more calm now. Before, when we would walk back there by where she was at, she would run to a corner and cower down, you know, and what have you. And wow, look at that dewlap. Oh yeah, she had plenty to pluck from if she had decided to make a nest for those babies. But she didn't do it. You probably have heard me say this before, but of all the rabbits, all the New Zealanders on the place, body type wise, Mustang Sally's probably second. And you're gonna think I'm crazy when I tell you who's got the best body type of all the New Zealanders at Crow's Nest Rabbitry. I give you a hint: she's only got 3 legs, and I don't mean Grand Champion legs. She should have, but she never will have. But no, seriously, little Aurora has got the best body type of any New Zealand on the place. If she had a 4th leg, I guarantee you she'd be hitting every show we could find. And probably some of these others should be, but we've decided that we're going to try to get a couple of litters out of some of them and raise up some young juniors to show for spring. You know. Now, depending on what happens, we may have... Saw Guy had pulled a toenail. When we went to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which the way it turned out, it wouldn't have mattered, because he could not have gotten a leg. Even if he won, he could not, because there wasn't enough reds there. That's what we ran into with Sangria and Romeo. Okay? But Saw Guy didn't go, because we were going to try to get Saw Guy's 3rd leg. He's got 2 show legs. We were going to try to get his 3rd leg, but unfortunately, a week prior to the show, we realized that Saw Guy was missing a toenail. And I mean, the whole toenail was gone. Not sure how it happened. I'm guessing that and this is something you guys will want to watch out for too. When you're taking in and out of these cages, sometimes their claws will get caught in this wire when you're bringing them out the doorway, and you got to be careful. And that's the only thing that I could figure could have happened to Saw Guy's toenail. But we just noticed the other day that it is growing back in, and depending on how he does for, you know, Saw Guy's pushing 3 years old, so I mean, it's not like a Grand Champion certificate is going to mean that much. But I don't know. It also, at the same time, he is so nice that it seems a shame that with 2 legs, somebody, when he was more in his prime, it seems a shame that somebody stopped showing him and started breeding him rather than allowing him the opportunity to get that 3rd leg. That's just my opinion. But we'll just we'll give him a shot if he's if we can get him in getting him in condition. Otherwise, it's not really hard. Saw Guy's condition, he fixes that himself. All you got to do is pour the coals to him, I call it, or pour the feed to him, and he'll condition himself because he's got all the groundwork for excellent show condition. We just gotta get him there, and he's growing that toenail back in. We were afraid that it had gotten the quick and everything, and we weren't going to be able to get the toenail to grow back. And now that we see that it's growing back, it'll be perfect by the spring, and we'll see what happens. Maybe we can take Saw Guy to a show somewhere, and Lord willing, the creeks don't rise, maybe we can take some of Saw Guy's kiddos to the show as well. If Mustang Sally will cooperate, we might even try to take some of Saw Guy's grandchildren. Because for those of y'all that don't know, let me get him real quick. Boo. For those of you that don't remember or haven't seen him before, this is Witter. He's named after the town in Arkansas that he came from. Just like several of our rabbits, he came from or descended from rabbits that came from Grace Hollow Rabbitry. Saw Guy is Witter's daddy. He's a little guy. He's only around 10 pounds, give or take. But he's still got time to grow. I think he's only about 7 months old. 8 months old. He'll still grow some. But he's just massive. He doesn't have the big monstrous head like his daddy does, because his daddy got a head like that. But he's big bone, got a big strong, he's big bone, got big nice bone structure like his daddy. And a lot of people don't like doing this. I don't care, you're not doing it, I am. But Witter's mama is Mustang Sally. And while we would use Witter, he's a nice, bury your head in the sand there, now your head, you're okay. There you go, buddy. We are breeding Witter back to mama. While Witter is an excellent brood buck either way, if we want to stay with red-eyed white New Zealand's, we have to. Witter is our only option at this point. Now we may put on another red-eyed white buck at some point in the future, but it would have to be a super nice one. Because I am just completely and entirely happy with Witter, the way he's turned out. He does a very good job. He loves his work. And I just decided to go get Witter and pull him out and show him to you, because when we did our big long 4-part rabbitry update for October, I noticed that for some reason when we were started around there and came this way with the camera around the building, I skipped Witter for some reason. And it wasn't intentional. It just happened, and so I thought I'd throw him into this video. No big deal. Alright folks, that's all the babies. Hopefully we can bring you an update. Hey, like our face, Calypso, all these babies, whenever they're born, I post that day in real time and give updates on our Facebook page. Just look up, it's facebook.com/hillbillyhomesteading. And like that page, and you can get updates. I usually make an update of some kind every day. You know, just letting in general, just kind of saying what I've done today, or what have you, or what's happened, if we've had babies born today, if there was any breedings today, and just give an overall update of what's happening. I can't do it that often in videos. It just takes my PC too long to render a video and what have you. So, but like that Facebook page, and I mean, y'all are welcome to post. You know, as long as it's family friendly and homestead related. It doesn't have to be rabbit related. Homestead related and family friendly is the only requirements, okay? Get on there and post what you'd like to post. Share pictures of what's going on around your homestead. Hey, I love to look at them all, see what's going on. You have some ideas of ways that you're doing things, you know, ideas you've tried with changing, you know, animal husbandry in your homestead. Hey, share it. Somebody else might can benefit from it. Anyway, we're gonna, yep, it must be getting time for winter. He's growing hair, thickening that fur up. Folks, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Y'all have a great day. God bless.